All right, welcome everyone to the Koochiching County Board of Commissioners regular meeting for Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. Would you please help me open with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. First order of business under county business is to approve the proposed agenda with additions and or deletions. We have one addition this morning. It's to consider approval of North Koochiching Area Sanitary District to complete MPCA grant application. And we will place that addition under county business, item number 9. And with that addition, Chair would accept a motion to accept the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Thank
I
you.
will second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is to approve the minutes from the October 8th, 2024 regular meeting.
I'll move.
Thank you,
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing no discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is financial business. Get to that. Chair would accept the motion for items A, B, and C. Approve courthouse claims, approve highway claims, and approve public health and human services claims.
I'd make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
No second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any discussion on the claims? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next up is to approve warrant void and the amount of $1,293.49 due to the wrong vendor.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre. Any discussion on the void? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Next up is to approve court-appointed attorney proposal. Item number 4. I'll let Administrator Cole speak to this a little bit.
Sure. We had a vacancy in August for a court-appointed attorney. The county board and court administration had agreed to a 2 court-appointed attorney rotation, so we were down to 1. The board approved on 2 out for RFP. We had 1 submittal, and the submittal was reviewed by the county attorney's office, court administration, the judge, myself, and we recommend that the board approve entering into agreement for Donald Kirshner. His bid was $45,000 annually.
And this is a 3-year contract?
Correct.
And starting on October 8th,
I think it will start today.
but it'll start today upon approval. Okay. So we would note that change to be the what is the date today? 22nd. All right, wishes of the board.
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion on the contract? Thanks for all your work on this.
You're welcome.
Hearing no discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is to approve AMC policy appointments and voting delegates. Just for a little bit of a rule for the policy committees. Environmental and Natural Resources Policy is Commissioner Hill. General Government Policy Committee is myself. Health and Human Service Policy is Commissioner Roach. Public Safety Policy Committee is Commissioner McIntyre, and Transportation Infrastructure Policy Committee is Commissioner Erickson. And these are the 2024 approved voting delegates, which will be having, this voting is kind of going on right now, so, and will be continuing up until the end of the year. And I would need a motion to approve the voting delegates.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre. Any discussion on the delegates? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up is consider approval of the Hildy Agreement for Consulting Services. Again, I'll let Administrator Cole speak to this a little bit here. It has to do with the Prairie Health Plan.
Yeah, historically, the county has contracted with Hildy to comply with the Government Accounting Standards Board, rule number 75. And basically, we need them to do actuarial review of our post-employment benefits. So it's just a renewal of the contract, and they report back, and then it becomes part of our audit for the year. The 2025 cost is $3,600, and then 2026 is $1,200. We kind of do a every other year review, and then that second year process is part of their processing for that review.
And this, you said this goes into our overall audit annually?
Correct. We submit it to our auditors, and that becomes part of our audit report.
Okay. So the actuary for taking care of this side of the insurance care for the health plan, and then this gets reported to the auditors for the amount of 2025 is $3,600, and in 2026 it will be $1,200. And wishes of the board.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next up, item 7 is to approve consider approval of a 3-year U of M extension agreement. And we've had a couple of discussions. They were here in the presentation a couple of meetings ago. And I think their fee increased a little bit over the next term. I think they have some built-in inflation over the course of the 3-year contract.
Yeah, it's about 20% increase from this year to next year, and then you can see the prices on your RBA there, that there's some cost of living adjustments for the position that we fund.
And this is for staff retention. You know, it's a competitive market. Some of these are very skilled positions, and they're trying to hang on to some of the people that they do have. So I know they got good people, and they want to kind of be fair with them. And this is across the state as well. This isn't just for us. This is everywhere. They did a presentation at AMC, I believe, last fall about this very thing. So this has been in the works for, I'm sure, well over a year, or close to a year at least with them. So, but they provide a great service for our kids in our community, and they have a lot of good opportunities for us to tap into too, which we are using as by the way, to they have many things that we can get into with the university. Lots of programs, lots of grants available, lots of community development type stuff. So. Not just youth development and 4-H, so they really got a lot of tentacles, a lot of fingers into lots of different things that we can benefit from too. So I think it's a good spend of resources to continue these and continue with the increase.
This is a 3-year deal?
Yes.
Looks like about 3% a year for the next 3 years.
Yep. After the initial increase.
Mhm.
Yep. Does that include rent or not? That does not include rent, does it? No. So there's rent that we have on top of this that goes directly to Bacchus, separate above this, and what is that?
11,000.
11,000?
Annually.
And I know that went up a little bit too, I think, here in the last couple of years.
This year, or next year, sorry.
Okay, for next year, yeah. All right. And that helps support the educator for youth at a 3/4 FTE. So it's not a full-time position, but I think they're thinking about offering some benefits and to help retention too, so. And wishes of the board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre.
I second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Under Human Resource, we're at that point. We can have Brian and Derek come on up. We have a pending retirement that we discussed about, and then moving forward with potentially backfilling with 2 separate hybrid type positions to kind of help fill the need a little bit better and maybe collect a little more revenue within those positions, I guess. So.
Yep. We discussed that at the committee of the whole. It'll be a net zero to our budget because there are additional funds that we can capture by adding this position. I also was able to calculate again. It's not a 100% accurate number until we have hard numbers in place, but I do have a range. I've discussed about those additional dollars that we'd be able to bring in with this position through the time studies, and that can range anywhere between $16,000 to $18,000 additional dollars that we'll be able to bring in federal revenue on top of the $126,000 that we should be able to capture with this position being added. So it will be a net zero on our budget, and we could see even more down the line when it comes to out-of-home placement costs and things like that. So.
You're pretty sure about these numbers here, I think. We want to make sure that we're going to be able to cover the cost of this here without having to add a position and then having to dig, somewhere in here in a year or two when it doesn't work out. So you're pretty confident that this is going to be able to happen?
Yep.
Yeah, they'll be working supervisors, so they'll be, revenue generating, so.
Yep.
In 2 specific areas, it's just, there's too much for that supervisor to know, and there's a whole nother, DMC requirements?
Yeah, the Department of Human Services split from the Department of Human Services, and all they have the Department of Human Services and the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. They basically recreated the Department of Human Services and moved all the child programs to it. So there's 2 different commissioners. It's
Well, they created a whole new
branch.
Of the family.
And moved all the children's programs over to that, and we're already seeing the increased regulations coming from that. So instead of just getting these bulletins, which are informational documents about different programs and things like that, just coming from DHS, now we're getting double, because there's ones coming from DHS and there's ones coming from Department of Children, Youth, and Families. So, and just some of the things, the case management. Targeted case management dollars, we'll see an increase with those, and then as well as the waiver case management federal reimbursement dollars, we'll see an increase with those because we're able to spend more of that client contact time with these being working supervisor positions. Right now, the supervisor is unable to be a working supervisor. They are just kind of trying to oversee all these different programs. So this will be revenue generating. And I'm working to get things in place to track to ensure we're getting all the dollars that we possibly can. And I want to maximize the amount of federal and state dollars we can bring in.
So the name of the 2 positions that would be created in lieu of this one?
It would be the Children and Family Services Supervisor and the Adult Services Supervisor.
And we have somebody retiring from?
Yep.
So are we expecting applications from within if we do this?
I think we'd see some from within and some from outside because they'd be supervisor positions, so we'd be able to post we post internal and external at the same time.
Okay.
Concurrently, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, if approved, would this kind of start happening fairly quickly?
Yeah, we'd start the recruitment process right away because Jean will be done the end of November is her last day is the day before Thanksgiving. So her last official work day.
I thought she was done in December.
Vacation.
They can't, I don't think they can do that.
Oh, I don't know. I know December 13th was her last official day being here. Or,
We'd have to
employed.
we can talk about that offline.
Yeah.
I thought she was working through her last day. Yeah, that makes
Gene
sense.
can be around to train them in a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, and that's a 30 years of knowledge there. That's going to be walking out the door. So,
Great. Well, we've had several discussions and kind of looked at the numbers. I guess my only concern would just be making sure that we were able to capture some of that revenue to make this work without having to kind of dip into the levy to further pay for it, I guess. So, and just want to be sure of that, I guess, would be the idea here. So,
yep, that's the goal of it, and this will allow for more oversight we're 100% time entry. We enter time into the social services information system, and that's how we get federal reimbursement back. We're 100% time entry, but this will allow for more oversight, so we could be grabbing dollars from other areas that I'm just not aware of yet, as when that time entry is done correctly, making sure everything is tied to a case that you're working on and not just records and reports, just general. If it's tied to a case, then there can be federal and state reimbursement from that, and it'll allow for more oversight to that because you're focusing on your team and know exactly how it should be entered. If somebody's not entering it correctly, can address that and get it entered to be able to capture more dollars. But I can't put a dollar amount on that right now, but we should see increases in other areas as well.
no, it's ever changing. So, all right. Well, anything further on that?
No, unless you guys have any other questions for me regarding it.
Thoughts, questions?
I just had to think about it, if people are gonna be switching internal or we're gonna be going out for hire on this, so if we do internal, if they move internal, then we're gonna have to refill the internal spots again, so we got the outstanding thing where we just keep that applying back, don't we? Or if we hire somebody internal, we just automatically post for that job too?
I would like to. I mean, I would, if we can, yes. We've done that in the past, obviously.
Yep.
With that, we think that there was really one or two people internally that might be interested in that position. Externally, there's some thoughts there as well. So it's a good problem to have if you have people that are interested in it. And this is really going to help out the community and better take care of our clients, and their families. So.
Yeah, no, it sounds like, yeah, that would be great. Have a little more hands-on and be able to lighten the load a little bit too across the board.
And being that it's not a union position, we can begin interviews right away. So we can make this process pretty quick.
Yep.
Cindy, would you come back with any potential backfills, or you want that in this motion here?
I'd like to add it to the motion if I can.
Okay. All right. So keep that in mind if your motion to backfill any potential openings that arise out of this from internally at least.
We've kind of been doing that all along.
Yeah.
For you guys. 'Cause you've
That's
had
where
lots
we've been
of
doing
lots
that.
of openings lately.
There's been lots of retirements and everybody was kind of in that same age group, so everybody's kind of going at the same time. So it's I've been there almost 11 years now, and I'm one of the long timers there now. So there's something.
Yeah, we have 5 interviews this week to fill the child enforcement officer. So that's promising.
Good.
So they're all external.
Very good. All right. Any questions for Derek or Brian?
Nope.
All right. Wishes of the board.
I'd make the motion with the addition of being able to fill the back spot if applied and hired internally.
Sounds good. Thank you, Commissioner Roach.
Commissioner Roach, did you want that, your motion to include that it's a budget neutral
Yes.
exchange? Okay. So split the positions into the child and family supervisor and the adult supervisor, backfill any subsequent vacancies, and it is a budget neutral
Yes.
change.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. I want you to repeat that.
Go ahead.
We have a first and a second. I know everybody put a lot of time into it and a lot of thought into it, so I appreciate that. And I think it'll work out fine too. So, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Derek.
Thanks.
Thanks for the work on it.
Next up is Health and Human Services.
No,
Is-
9.
Oh, 9, addition. Excuse me. See? Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Please, come on up. We have your addition.
Thank you.
I can find you. Okay. And this is consider approval of North Cooch to complete an MPC grant application. This is just more of a pass-through grant under the guise of the county because the North Cooch is not allowed to or whatever under the guidelines or something.
Yes.
So, and this is going to be for I&I and repairs and,
It's for, we're going to do approximately 23,000 feet, televising, interceptor sewer assessment, and then lining 3 manholes.
okay.
And depending on if we are awarded the grant and how much we are awarded, we could possibly even do more televising. So, but right now we're budgeting for 23,000 feet and 3 manholes. Our SEH, who is our engineering firm, has recommended that we apply for it. However, there's one of 3 grants. 2 were not eligible at all, and I do have copies of the grants that I'll leave with you that you can look at. But we can only apply for one of them with your help. So we are here today to just respectfully ask you if we could process this grant at no cost to the county, so that we can just use you as a pass-through.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, please.
I had talked to Callie too about this yesterday. I had recommended that once the grant is completed, it still comes back to the county board before it's submitted, so you can review the final grant. If you need legal to review it internally, do you want?
Do we have a meeting before that?
Yeah, it's due the
Submittal?
14th and we have a meeting on the 12th.
Okay, sure.
So unless you're comfortable approving them to complete and submit, I just had recommended that we approve to complete it and then bring the final finished grant
Draft.
here
Okay.
for review
Before submittal?
before submittal.
What, would you be ready by the 12th
I will,
of November?
yes, I can have SEH begin to work on the grant.
Okay.
And then, if you want, I'll come to your next board meeting. And I can get Adam copies of it prior to, so you can review it before the board meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds all
That'd be
right. I
good.
mean, yeah, honestly, it's a great idea and everything, and I'm sure you have an area identified where you're gonna
Yes,
look at and all that too.
yes.
So that's a good idea. Yeah, infiltration and relining is expensive, so it's a good deal. Right, so we just put that in the motion of this is just kind of moving forward with the grant process, and then prior to submittal, wherever that submittal is and all the details of that, maybe we can bring that back on the 12th.
Yep.
If that's okay, or even just have it available for us to,
Yep.
and then we'll just.
I'll bring it back.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Kelly.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'll leave the
Okay.
applications with Adam.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Yep.
Thanks.
We have a motion to approve moving forward with that submittal, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre. All those in favor of moving forward, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. Great. Well, that must be the great one.
How much it helps with.
Wait a warrant, boy.
The wall's going up. All right, next up is Health and Human Services. Thank you, Eric. And first up is a warrant void in the amount of $400.95 for care not received. So is a return?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it was for respiratory care that wasn't utilized, so.
Okay. All right. I would accept the motion to approve that void.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Howell.
Roach, second. By Hell.
Oh, excuse me, Commissioner Roach. Sorry about that.
That's all good.
All right, any discussion on the void? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And motion carries. Next is to acknowledge donation to public health from the Midgie Orthodontics.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, this was a big one. This was Linnea Imhoff. She's our new health educator.
Okay.
This is her old place of employment that she still has a very good relationship with. And she was discussing with them about this pumpkin palooza that's going on at the Rainy Lake Medical Center and setting up there to have a booth and whatnot. And Dr. Logan Passy there donated 600 frisbees, 576 toothbrushes, 348 toothpastes, and 360 flosses. This is nearly $2,000 worth of items that he donated to be able to hand out to kids in the community. So this was a big thing. So it's pretty exciting.
Especially being from Bemidji.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's really cool. We'll certainly appreciate that, and I don't know in my candy bag if I'd like that or not. But,
Gotta-
you know, you can always use a toothbrush, so I love it that they're promoting brushing your teeth and stuff, and I really think it's sinking into it, taking care of your teeth.
We should probably send them guys a thank you for that.
Yes, we certainly can from our board. I think that's an awesome idea. So
If you want to write up something and
Yep.
I'll
if we can
sign
have
it.
something out or whatever, just have it. We'll have it signed, and certainly appreciate their donation on that. So that's a
Yeah.
good idea. And that, when is that? Do you happen to know the date of that event?
It's the end of this week, I believe.
End of this week. Okay,
I think. I want to say it's the 26th. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. I think it's a Thursday.
Yeah. Then Halloween would be the next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So they can brush their teeth, floss after they're done eating all the candy.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's really nice.
My kids are forced into it.
All right. Well, thank you to Dr. Logan Passy of Bemidji Orthodontics, and certainly appreciate that. Next up is approve the transportation of children and youth placement in IS D361.
Yep. This is an agreement we have to set up every.
Please.
Did we have a motion and a second on the resolution?
We did not have a motion on this. Yeah, we need to have a motion for that. Excuse me.
For the,
For the
Donation.
donation. Yep.
I'll
You
make
want-
that
You
motion.
want the motion to include authorizing me to send a thank you letter on behalf of the board?
Yes.
Please. Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Apologize for that.
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, and the motion carries. Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah, we have to accept donations. I know that. Okay, please.
All right, the next is, we have to do this every year. It's an agreement with the school for children that are in foster care to ensure that they are still attending. That if they are placed outside of the district, if it's feasible, it's a cost share to get them to go continue with their same school setting instead of moving to a different school. It's something we have in place with all the schools. We're required by the state to have that, and that's what this is saying. We will work with the school to figure out transportation for kids if they are placed outside of the district.
Excellent, thank you. All right, Chair would accept a motion to approve that agreement.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner McIntyre.
I'll second. Go ahead. Roach can.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. Any discussion on the agreement? This is a one-year deal
Yep.
annually? Okay.
Yep, annually.
All right. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. And thank you, Derek.
Yeah, have a good day.
Thanks.
I do need to grab a couple signatures from Jason.
Okay. All right, at this time, is there any public comment, online or in person? Hearing no public comment, we'll move on to roundtable reports. Commissioner Roach, please.
I was at the ATV Joint Powers yesterday. We discussed speed limits on county roads with ATVs, which I brought back and we discussed earlier. I got a note from Trent. I got to read it now to see what ours is.
He is online if you want him to.
22nd.
Never mind, he was online.
He was online. He's gone now. So I got to read up on that there. We're trying to make sure that we align with St. Louis County, Beltrami, Cook County, and make sure all of our speed limits on this county roads are the same. So anybody traveling up to our areas will be. Everybody should know the common speed limit, or if it's posted as 30 miles an hour, it should be coinciding with whatever the speed limit is on the county roads. So that was one of the ones we were at yesterday. So I'm still working on getting our answer. I got to read my email I got from Trent to see where we're at
He
with
sent
that.
me an ordinance as well, so.
Yep.
Great. Commissioner McIntyre, anything?
Convention and Travel Bureau would like to come and give us a little presentation, probably early next year, about what we've been having going on with advertising for getting people to come to see Rainy Lake and the rest of the county. So.
Sounds good. Commissioner Howell?
Nothing for me.
Great. I don't really have anything to report. Just good to see everybody at the MC district meeting a week or so ago, and some of our priorities that we're have in our area, our region, and our county that we're working on and continually working on, that we'll hopefully pass on to the legislators here before the end of the year. So that's what to look forward to and think about what those priorities are, and ask the directors and stuff and make sure we're all on the same page with that. So we pretty much all are almost all the time. So I know a lot of people are watching these types of things, so I appreciate all of that. And other than that, I don't really have any other reports. So anything else? Yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
All right. If there's nothing else, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Roach. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Jail's on schedule.
We are adjourned. Yes, jail is on schedule.